Welcome to our channel. We are Caitlin and Patrick, two adventure seekers that recently sold all of our belongings to fulfill our lifelong dream of living sustainably. We purchased 15 acres of raw land in the mountains of East Tennessee. Since moving to our property, we have installed our solar system for all of our power needs and our rainwater catchment system for all of our water needs. Join us as we continue to build out our off-grid homestead in the mountains and navigate this adventure we call life. What's up, guys?
Welcome back.
So we kind of took a week off here. We're just being lazy.
Yeah, well, no, we had a lot going on too. It was kind of gross. I traveled, so we had your parents come up for the game. There's a lot of things going on.
Can we get that off?
It's ladybug season in Tennessee.
Yeah, we didn't have ladybugs last year, not like this, but this year they're just as bad or worse than stink bugs. But today I'm going to be working a little bit on blocking for our shed over here. So this shed, again, it was here when we bought the property. Yeah. We've done a lot to it as far as like running electrical in it, which was not there. And then also it's called insulation.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of different stuff. We put flooring down because it didn't have any flooring. So we are working on blocking today because we're going to start putting some sheetrock in there. Mm-hmm. This is something that we had planned to do once we had built the house and it was finished and just kind of down the road. But since we've been here a year and a half and we've not broken ground on the house, we've just kind of decided to go ahead and make this a little bit more homey and go ahead and put sheetrock in there. So I'm going to work on the blocking so that we have something to screw the sheetrock to around some of the smaller windows, and we're going to do tongue and groove on the roof, so we got to do a little bit of blocking up there as well. So I'm just going to do a few time lapses of that today while Pat works, and hope you enjoy.
We're also prepping for a few other future projects, so stay tuned if you want to see what we're using the blocking for.
What are those?
Other things like the...
Oh, yeah.
I was not going to tell them.
No, well, I didn't know what you're talking about. That's like months down the road.
You're just like...
I was like, I'm the one that makes the projects around here. But yeah,
you should know.
I'm gonna do a little bit of time lapse for this. It's not that exciting, so I don't know how much you want to see of it, but we'll try to get some shots of the sheetrock too. That'll be later on this week probably. But there's a million videos online of how to do sheetrock, and this is not a how-to channel. It's just how we did it. So it's not gonna be like an informative. This is how you sheetrock. So don't come at us in the comments. But also, it's like we're not teaching you to sheetrock. We're just showing you how we did it. That's pretty much it. So. What's up, guys? So I am headed up our mountain. It's been about 4 hours since I left. It's 2 hardware stores and the grocery store. And now the true test is getting the sheetrock up the mountain without losing any of it. It's always a trick. I can drive an hour on windy mountain roads, but our driveway has like a 15-degree or 15% incline. Actually 16 is the worst that it gets, but we have to be pretty careful when we're hauling stuff up here. I'm not gonna lie, I've lost a couple of pieces of lumber before, but you just pick them up and tie them back down and keep going. So I'll report back when I get back up there if I made it in one piece with everything. So far so good. Well, made it in one piece. Not too much damage, I don't think, on the edge there. This one kind of did start slipping out, but that's alright because I made it up here. No problem. Got everything ready to roll. Alright guys, so I'm back up at the property. Got a little bit of electrical to do before I get started on sheetrock, and probably a little bit more blocking as well. I don't know if you can see in the video, but I did some blocking up here so that when we do the tug and groove, there's something to secure the edge to. So it's not the prettiest. I use a lot of scrap boards, but it was a good way to get rid of some extra pieces. So I'm gonna start taking the panel off here, or the cover of our panel off here, and get a new circuit run. I think we've got, one of the reasons we haven't done sheetrock in here yet is because our electrical system is always evolving. So the way we've done it, instead of doing sheetrock up here, we actually did plywood, 1/2-inch plywood that'll match up hopefully perfectly with the sheetrock. But yeah, so that we can actually remove that if we need to and service anything. And we're also not going to do anything below the dog crate here, so that we have access to all of that. We can run extra circuits all over the property if necessary. But this next circuit is going to go in the wall, and that'll be something we do in the spring, but I need to do it in preparation for that project. That we'll let you guys know about at that time. But yeah, so not my favorite thing to do, but I've done it several times. I'm not an expert. This is not a how-to channel. We actually rewired my first house I bought in 2017 when I was 27 years old. It was my first house. It was built in 1949. So a lot of the circuits were not grounded at the time. So when I redid the kitchen and the bathroom, we ran new electrical to both of those areas. Of course we did sheetrock then too. I couldn't afford to pay someone to do all these things, so I kind of learned it myself. I wasn't taught really. I mean, a YouTube university basically. So again, not a how-to channel, but yeah, not a how-to channel, but this is just one way to save money, is to do a lot of stuff yourself and not pay someone to, because of course when I bought my first house I could barely afford to buy a house, and it hadn't changed since like the 70s, so it needed a major facelift. So I went ahead and did all that. I met Pat actually a couple days after I closed on that house, so he helped me a lot with the kitchen and the bathroom. I had kind of already started on some of the other rooms before he started helping out, but yeah, a little bit of experience, definitely not an expert, but I've definitely learned enough each time to get a little bit better with everything. Sheetrock is not that difficult. The hard part is really the mudding and sanding. It just takes forever, and the hardest part about this situation is most of this is going to stay in here as we do it, which is really going to suck. Like I said, in my house, when we redid the bathroom and the kitchen and the whole house, I mean, all of it had to be redone. I had to redo sheetrock almost every room, including the ceiling in the living room. It was a pain, but we are doing tongue and groove here, so that'll be better than having to put sheetrock up there. But I've got the electricity completely turned off right now. I've got the inverter off, and then I've got the power at the breaker off, which there is no power going to the breaker if the inverter's off, but as a safety precaution I turned the main breaker off, and I've already checked to make sure there's miraculously no power coming through somehow. There's one thing I know: living in a construction zone is not fun, so these next few weeks are going to be very dusty and not ideal. But like I said, we couldn't put sheetrock up until we had all our electrical figured out and we knew where we wanted everything to go, so that we, you know, weren't having to go back and rip out sheetrock in order to do that sort of thing. So yeah, we'll get started. I think that's enough rambling. Also, while I was in there, I just kind of cleaned up a little bit of the extra coating that comes on these, and may not be the prettiest, but it works. And we were kind of in a hurry when we did it because, you know, we kind of needed power up here. Not suggesting that you should do electrical in a hurry, definitely not, but I tend to be in a hurry. Alright guys, I'm never going to be an electrician. It's a lot of work. Props to you electricians out there because it's hard work. I hate pulling wire. It's like a dang workout, especially in the corners. The pain in the rear, literally such a pain to get through there. My hands are hurting already, which is just what happens when I do electricity. But we finally have our wire out here, so I'm gonna start wiring this up. I'm just gonna do a time lapse real quick of this. I would definitely recommend, which this is what most people do, but do not put your insulation in until you've done your electricity all the way, which obviously that would have been what we would have done had we not had that add on as we go. I definitely should have been in a long sleeve, long pants, and had a mask on. I've got the devil's cotton candy all over me, aka insulation, and it's so itchy. So definitely don't recommend doing it in that order. But anyway, I'm gonna get this wired up and then get it wired to the panel, and then I should be able to turn, well, no, I probably won't turn electricity back on yet. I'm gonna try to get a couple panels of sheetrock hung today. I don't know, it's already 4:19, so we'll see how long it takes me to finish this up, and we'll go from there. Also, I wanted to show you a really cool tool real quick. I think this is made by Ryobi, but I'm sure other brands make it as well. But you've probably seen me, I don't know if you can see it well in the time lapses, but I use it when I have to get in really tight spaces or kind of have to screw at weird angles. It's great. I use it like every time I do a project. Definitely recommend getting something like this for a lot of different uses, but you basically just, whatever angle you need to use it at, you hold it there. And you hold this part, screw it, and it works perfect. Sometimes it's hard to get this hammer drill in there. It's not one of the really compact ones, so definitely recommend something like this if you're going to be doing a lot of projects. And also, I've got this all wired up now. I'm going to go wire the box and may get some insulation, or sorry, my brain's fried today. Get some sheetrock hung here in a little bit after I clean up, because the shed is a mess now, and I'd like to get it back to normal before tonight so we can relax a little bit. But yeah, any guesses on what we're gonna put out here, put it in the comments. It's probably not that hard to figure out if you know anything about a little bit about electricity, so drop it in the comments if you guys know what it's gonna be. Alright, so such a pain in the butt, but I finally got it wired into there. It's going to be off for now because we don't need electricity going to that area. I still have the breaker off, the main breaker completely off. I'd like to go ahead and get one sheet of sheetrock put back here. The reason is I've already taken this out. Sorry, insulation in my throat. I've already taken this this outlet out. I probably shouldn't be doing a piece of sheetrock right now, but anyway, I've already taken this out because we got a new tool, which is a router that's going to route around the box so that we don't have to measure and cut all those. We just put the sheetrock on, cut it, put this back. So I'd like to get one sheet back there while I have everything out. I need to clean up back there first, but that is the plan. Hopefully I can manage that. We'll see, but I'm gonna need a light because I can't turn the electricity on yet, so here we go. Oh, I guess I could turn all of it on except for that breaker. All right, so I decided to go ahead and turn the power back on so I can have some airflow in here to get some of the insulation moving out, hopefully. And then also some light because it's getting dark. My brain's starting to lose power too, so I probably shouldn't try to hang sheetrock, but it is behind the TV, so I was gonna show you guys these real quick if I can open them. Picked up, I think it's 50 pack of these guys right here, so they go over any plumbing or electrical lines that you have on the studs. I've never used these before. I've already got a couple over here, so I'll show you, but it's just kind of peace of mind to know that you didn't accidentally screw through a wire. I mean, they're deep enough in there that it shouldn't be an issue, but this is just an extra precaution. It's probably code, I don't know, but hopefully this will just give me peace of mind that I didn't screw through any of my wiring and won't have any electrical issues or fires down the road, hopefully. Fingers crossed. So I've got to add these to that area real quick. Shouldn't take too long, you just hammer them in. So gonna do that real quick and then clean up and then hopefully hang one sheet. Alright guys, so I got my first sheet in. As you can tell, I've never used this router before. That's a new tool we got. And it didn't help that I also mismeasured the box there, so I'll have to fix that. But at least it'll be behind the TV. So, easy fix, won't be that noticeable. Also did the router part up there, which worked really nicely. And I'll show you one other thing as well. So right here, this is where I hit those metal plates that protected the wires. So without those, probably would have had some issues, at least if not now down the road. So really thankful those were there. Those are easy fixes to patch. Not the prettiest drywall job I've ever done. I think the router will be helpful. It's definitely messy, so got a lot of cleaning up to do. I think Pat will be home soon, so I'm gonna get things cleaned up, put back together, and relax. Well, take a cold shower so I can get this insulation off of me. The devil's cotton candy is the worst, but anyway, gonna get this cleaned up, go shower, probably have a drink tonight, and chill. So, see y'all tomorrow. Alright guys, it's a new day. I'm getting a little bit later start than I wanted to. Had to run into our little town here and get our new 100 pound propane tank filled. I'm tired from yesterday, a little bit sore, but gonna get started by removing our heater. I'm gonna go ahead and do this section so we can get the heater put back up and use it later tonight. Right now it's nice out, so we don't need it. It's also a reason we're not waiting until winter to do this, because in the winter we pretty much run this all day. So gonna go ahead and get this down and electrical box sorted out and get some more sheets hung. So thanks for joining us. Alright, so I got the gas unhooked. Of course, we turned off all the gas. There's not even a tank connected right now. And turned off the electricity to these outlets and disconnected all of that. So I'm gonna get a sheet up. We're gonna have to put a little bit of blocking in here probably for the, what you call it, fireplace. So we'll see. I don't know. It landed on these studs, so probably won't need it. But anyway, we're gonna get that sorted. Get a couple more sheets hung, and I feel like there's a reason for me to talk to you guys right now, but now I can't remember, so there you go. One other thing really quick, I'm gonna have to do something a little funky with the sheetrock here. I could remove this part of the pipe and then just drill a hole in the sheetrock, put it right up against, which would probably be the better idea, but I really don't want to take that apart because we've glued it and Teflon, gas Tefloned it, so, and we know it's tight, it's not got any leaks, so I really don't want to have to take that apart and then do it again and check for leaks and all that, so I'd rather just leave it alone. So I'm going to have a piece of sheetrock come to here, of course 4 feet up, and then another piece come over, and I'll have a little bit more work down the road with when I start mudding and taping, but I'd rather do that than have to go through the plumbing of that again. So don't judge me, that's how we're going to. Also, something I decided to do since I kind of screwed up this outlet last night with the new router, decided to mark it with tape on the ground, and then measure up to the center of the box, 10 inches, mark it there. So once the sheetrock's up, I will know where to start the router. Of course, this one's a little bit easier because it's not going to be going this way yet. So, but anyway, just thought it was a good little trick to hopefully not screw up as many of these as I screwed up the first one. Number 2 with the router was not successful. I think I didn't have the depth set right. This one bit is for outlet boxes, it's flat on the end and then it starts cutting, I don't know, 1/4 inch in or so, and I think I need to have it go a little bit deeper because I'm not actually hitting the box, so it's just like kind of willy-nilly in there going crazy even though it feels like I'm hitting the box. But anyway, we can use that piece somewhere else. I don't want to have to put a bunch of patches over here since this is going to be visible, so I'm just going to cut a new sheet. And I may use that as a template to cut this one, but I really want to try to get good at this because I think it will be helpful. So we'll see. I'm going to go get it cut and go from there. Alright, I got that sheet in. Unfortunately, I didn't cut it as straight on this side as the first one, but this looks better. It's still not perfect. Getting a little bit better, I think, with the router, but I've got to figure it out because it's still too big. It's pretty frustrating, but I'll either patch it or buy one of the bigger outlet covers. I don't know. I tried marking it and then using the router. I did really good on the sides. It was the top and the bottom. I think I went and put enough pressure against the box. So, live and you learn, but luckily, well, this one is visible, but I don't know. I also don't know what's going on with the stud over here. I put my T-square on it to figure out where the stud's going to be. I forgot to hit record when I put this one in, but I guess this board is warped or does something crazy because I can't find it, but there's plenty of screws down there, so I think it'll be alright. I did hit the little metal wall plates a couple times too, so that's another reason there's so many holes there, but anyway, keep moving on. I'm going to switch gears a little bit. Some of these boards, they're not quite flush with the window. Most of them are, but I'm going to get the electric planer out and kind of plane that down a little bit just to help keep it smooth so there's no bumps or anything like that. So get moving on that. Alright, so we got another wall in. This is kind of what I was talking about earlier by just notching around. Not ideal, but it's not going to be that difficult to tape and mud and fix. But got it going all the way down there. Looking pretty good. Gonna probably start moving up from here because I don't want to deal with all the pantry and the fridge today. Still have a little bit of smoothing out to do up there before I can go up that way, but this should be quite a bit easier. I don't have to worry about hitting any electrical or anything. And it's just straight. There's nothing to notch besides the windows, which the router is working great for the windows, so that's positive. But yeah, keep on moving. Alright, so I didn't video too much because it's really hard to video and work. It's a lot of extra time and thought into it rather than just throwing sheets up. But we've got about half the shed done. It's looking pretty good. It's not perfect, but mud and tape will do a lot. Obviously, it's very dirty, so we have a lot to clean up and get everything back in order. Should have covered a little bit more.
So much drywall.
But the, yeah, it's so bad. The, Pat finished work earlier and helped me out towards the end there, but the router did pretty good on these. Kind of messed up on the first one a little bit, but that's easy to fix. I don't have a problem with the router and the windows for the most part. It's just the outlets, so I gotta get that sorted out. But I am covered in dust completely. So
kind of hard to tell on the camera.
Really?
Yeah.
Just look really
You
ashy.
shake your shirt off.
No.
There you go.
More dust in here. But anyway, so we're gonna get cleaned up and then relax because it's pretty bad in here. We should probably just not stay in here tonight, but you know.
Yep. Also, we're gonna invest in masks and Tyvek next time we have to do this because it's gross.
Yeah, don't live in a space that you're working in. I mean, this is not the first time we've done it, but anyway, so hopefully we'll get this cleaned up and just like that, and back to normal, kind of.
It's dirty.
If only it were that easy.
Alright, so, as you can see, we're done. Didn't really film much.
Well, we still have tape and mud.
We still have tape and mud. It's hung, though. This is what it looks like, so stay tuned for mudding in the future.
We didn't film pretty much the second half of it, I guess.
Pretty much.
We're just trying to get it done.
Yeah.
It's supposed to rain tomorrow, so we really need to get the sheetrock up instead of outside, so we're just kind of in a hurry, and it's a lot to kind of film and move the camera and get different angles and keep talking instead of just like busting it out.
Well, and Caitlin did most of it herself too because I had to work, so I helped where I could, but you know, rolling solo
He helped
is
a lot.
efficient.
Once he got off work, he helped me finish it, and we're working, what time is it now? It's 9:43.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we wanted to get it done because again, it's supposed to rain tomorrow, so we really needed to get it finished. But yeah, you can see our sorry little Christmas tree there. Anyway, we are going to chill.